everybody, Cinema Sickness here with this week's weekly review, where we take a look at all the titles I watched throughout the week, and I give you my quick thoughts on them. So let's take a look at everything I watched. The first title I checked out this week was Spiders, and this was a lot of fun. This movie got a lot of pretty negative reviews on places like Amazon, but it was from those reviews that I was really interested in checking this movie out. A lot of people saying how cheesy it was, how bad the acting was, how bad the CGI was, which I actually didn't think was all that bad. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it was basically all the things people were saying bad about this movie that made me go, I think that sounds like fun. And then I did read some positive reviews as well, and pretty much the positive reviews absolutely assured me that all the negative things I was reading were actually positives if you like B sci-fi horror movies. And I'm a big fan of B sci-fi horror movies, and that is exactly what this is. The movie's all about spiders being bred on this Soviet space station that ends up crashing down to Earth, because it's just an old space station, crashes down to Earth, and the spiders escape and start attacking New York City. Just awesome. These spiders grow to crazy sizes once on Earth. As you can see, giant spider there attacking the town. This is the queen spider. Great just scenes of her attacking. Just a fantastic movie all around. I didn't think the CGI was all that bad either. A lot of people were saying negative things like on places like Amazon about the CGI. It's not as bad as, let's say, in a silent pictures film, but it's also not as good as like a big budget Hollywood picture. It's somewhere in the middle, but all in all, I thought it worked. And I was watching this one actually in 3D, and it looked great, I thought. I was not taken back. I didn't think the CGI was bad. I thought it was pretty decent for a movie with a lower budget. I thought it was actually pretty well done for the most part. So this movie was very enjoyable. Like I said, I watched it in 3D. I thought the 3D was great. I loved watching all the spiders attacking in 3D. That was fun. Just all around a great movie. The only negative thing I would say, though, is the synopsis, which I can't really blame the filmmakers for. I blame Millennium Entertainment probably for. It says, Spiders centers on a mutant spiders created by pieces of material from a disabled Soviet space station. Not really. These spiders aren't created from pieces of a space station. They were just being bred on the space station. It basically, these spiders had like this mutated web. It's these spiders created by like an alien, I think like alien DNA or something like that. And these spiders basically are bred to have this crazy strong silk from their spider web, and it's like you can like make planes out of it and stuff. It's very strong, and it has like, it's all I guess like stealth and stuff like that. Like, it basically, whatever government owns these spiders and has this spider silk is going to basically rule the world, because they can have these great weapons and these great stealth planes and all this stuff. So basically, there's a whole conspiracy. Once the government finds out these spiders are here, they don't want to like necessarily kill them. They kind of like attain them and breed them and whatnot. They're looking for a queen egg so they can breed the queen and have all the other spiders come get the silk, and there's a lot of conspiracy going on, but it's just a lot of fun. Again, if you like B sci-fi horror movies, this is one to check out. I would recommend checking out a 3D if you have a 3D TV, because it was fun. So Spiders, definitely one I'd check out, definitely one I'd recommend checking out if you like the cheese. The second title I watched this week was Friends, the complete second season. Just another great season of Friends. Really enjoying this. I'm very excited to move on to the fourth season now. Love everything that happened this season. Everything from Ross and Rachel and Monica and Tom Selleck. Lots of craziness going on with relationships in this, but a lot of fun to watch. I don't have too much more to say about it. It's Friends. It's a great series. Like I've said with the last two seasons, this is the first time I've really sat down and really watched Friends. I've only seen bits and pieces of episodes, and I mean, I guess I've seen a couple full episodes here and there on TV over the years, but it was a show I never really got into, so now I'm definitely getting into it, and I see what all the hubbub was about. It's a great series. I would definitely recommend checking Friends out. Then I checked out another season with the complete first season of The Big Bang Theory. Holy hell, this is another show that I really should not have waited to watch. This is another show that I only ever watched a few select episodes of because the wife would be watching them on TV. I'd sit down and watch a couple episodes with her. But it was a show I never really got into, but I've always wanted to see it because I know everybody talks about it and how great it is. My wife was saying how much fun of a series this was. So when I was able to get the complete, I guess it's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth box set, I was able to get that for dirt cheap. I had to pick it up, and I'm so glad I did, because after watching this, just a fantastic series. It is extremely funny. It's great just watching these insanely like nerdy geeks do what they do. I can relate to a lot of things that they do in this series. My wife is constantly laughing and looking over at me going, hey, that's you. So I love this show. It is great, and I cannot wait to get started on the second season and go up to the fifth, which is all I own for now. But just absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen The Big Bang Theory, if you're like me, if you waited way too damn long to watch this, pick it up, check it out. It's fantastic. Definitely a sitcom I would highly recommend. The next title I watched was Hugo. Also check this one out in 3D, and the 3D was beautiful. I would definitely recommend picking up the 3D version. I was, though, a bit let down by this, only because people talk so highly of this movie and just praise this film. I've had people say this is their favorite movie of all time, or their favorite movie of the year this was released and stuff, and I didn't think it was that good. I'm not saying it was bad. I enjoyed this movie. I would highly recommend everybody check it out. It's a very, very good, very well told, very enjoyable story. But I don't know. For some reason, I just wasn't, like, overly thrilled with it. I thought it was good and well done, and certainly enjoyable. But in the end, I was just kind of like, oh, that was good. Okay, what's next? Not thinking to myself, oh, this was the greatest movie I've ever seen. I just didn't think it was, anything amazing. I thought it was good, but nothing above and beyond. So I'm not quite sure what all the excitement over this movie is. I didn't quite get it. Again, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I'm not praising this film. But again, I would recommend checking it out. It's a great, great story all about Hugo and some crazy shit that goes down. I mean, nothing like over the top crazy, but certainly some very interesting things that this young boy has to go through, and just kind of this sort of adventure almost within a train station that sort of takes place, and the way you meet characters and when you find out characters are kind of involved with each other, and you find out who people are. You don't think people are these certain people, and you find out they are. Just a really interesting story. So I would definitely recommend checking out Hugo. Like I said, I didn't think it was as great as some people make it out to be, but it was still a very fun movie, and one I would definitely say see. Then I watched Meatballs 3, because I did just watch Meatballs 2. Still need to watch Meatballs 4. That'll be coming up soon. This was great. This here's our first R-rated Meatballs movie. Up to then, everything was, I think, PG-13, if I'm not mistaken. This is definitely a strong R. Lots of nudity. It's definitely your 80s kind of sex comedy. But it's a great movie. And this one actually, if I can think of his name, Rudy. Rudy from the first Meatballs movie. Yes, this is actually a true sequel. I mean, it's only a sequel really in name, and the fact that it's supposed to be Rudy from the first movie. That's about as sequel as this movie gets. Otherwise, it really has nothing to do with the first Meatballs movie. But regardless, it is a sequel. Patrick Dempsey is playing Rudy. He's basically at this sort of, I don't want to say, it's not really a camp, unlike in past movies where everybody's in a camp. This is more kind of like it's like I don't want to say a water park either. It's all takes place on this lake, and there's kind of like a bar and a club and whatnot, and he's basically just working there. And he ends up having, he's a virgin, wants to lose his virginity. There's a porn star actress who dies, and she comes back down to earth for like one good deed, which is basically get Patrick Dempsey laid, and just, it's insane. It's an 80s sex comedy. I mean, what do you expect? But it's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it. If you like 80s sex comedies, this is one to check out. You're going to have a lot of fun with this movie. It's just another great Meatballs movie. I really enjoy all the Meatballs movies I've seen thus far, which is 1 through 3. I mean, the first one's obviously a classic. It's the best. 2, it was another fun movie I would definitely recommend as well. I mean, hell, Pee Wee Herman's in the second one. Definitely check it out. And 3 is just a fun sex comedy. Definitely a strong R80s sex comedy. But a great movie, nevertheless. I'd recommend checking it out. If you just love 80s fun, this is one to see. Then I watched a double feature set of Titanica and Everest. Now this double feature set is definitely a goldmine for me, because as you guys know, I'm a big fan of learning about the Titanic and learning about Mount Everest. I'm just a sucker for that, which, as I said, is kind of disturbing, because Titanic, one of the greatest disasters ever, and Everest is something I got really excited about when I found out there's a bunch of dead people on the mountain. So yeah, kind of interested in some morbid stuff, I guess, but really, really interested in both subjects, so I love this double feature set. Titanica, great, great documentary. Again, all about the Titanic. If you're interested in the Titanic, check it out. I don't really have too much more to say about it than that, but it is a really great IMAX documentary on the Titanic. You're going to get some great, beautiful imagery. Definitely see it. Everest, on the other hand, it's good. I would recommend it if you're interested in Everest, Mount Everest, check it out. But my downfall with it is the fact that it's only 45 minutes long, and this takes place during it's for the 1996 climb to the summit, and a lot of people died. Does it say how many? 8 people died on this climb to the top due to a really bad storm that came by. And I mean, you have IMAX there filming all this and whatnot, and it just seems like they skim over it. I don't mean to be all morbid and be like, I want to learn about the deaths, but it's one of like the worst disasters in Everest history. Don't skim over that. That's kind of important. I mean, that's a major thing that happened, and I just feel like they skimmed over it. I wanted to hear more about it. I wanted to hear more about this crazy storm that came by and all the people who died and what happened, and it just felt like they skimmed over it way too simple. And I think that was a way too easily. That was like my main downfall with this, is the fact that the whole thing just seemed to be skimmed over. They said, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, and that's about it. Like, I want to know more about each thing that happened. Like, get into it. You're a documentary. Let me know what happened. I want to hear about the climb to the summit. I want to hear about the people dying. I want to hear about the storm. I want to know what happened. Don't just skim over everything. And I felt they did that with this documentary. It probably should have been an hour and a half long. It was only 45 minutes. Definitely the downfall of Everest. But nevertheless, I would still say check it out if you have any interest in Mount Everest. It was still an interesting documentary. So Titanica, Everest, 2 great IMAX documentaries that I would say check out. The next title I watched was Trojan War. Now this is a fun movie. All about a boy who wants to have sex with the most popular girl in school, ends up actually getting the opportunity to do so, doesn't have a condom on him, and we spend the entire rest of the movie watching him trying to get a condom, which of course leads in this crazy wacky adventure around town, running into gangs, just being attacked by other people, and just everything you could possibly imagine goes wrong for this kid who wants to just get a condom, which shouldn't have been that big of a deal. Shouldn't have been very hard to do, but of course in this movie it is extremely difficult for him to get this condom, and just the shit keeps hitting the fan. But of course, in the end, Jennifer Love Hewitt here, he realizes that he loves her, wants to be with her, which the whole time in the movie I'm thinking, you got Jennifer Love Hewitt as your best friend? What the fuck is wrong with you? Forget everybody else. Forget the hot girl in school, the popular hot girl in school. Forget her. You have Jennifer Love Hewitt. People would kill their own families for Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's freaking amazingly hot. I think we can all agree with that. Jennifer Love Hewitt, gorgeous. So why is Eric Matthews here not going for Jennifer Love Hewitt? I don't know. The whole time I'm just thinking, you're an idiot. But, of course, in the end, they do get together. Everything works out. He doesn't want to have sex with the popular girl in school. He wants to bang his hot friends, which he should have just done in the first place. But all in all, it's a good, funny movie. I'd recommend checking it out. If you love just, cheesy 90s movies, this is one to see. So Trojan War, obviously check it out, though. This is only available on DVD through Warner's Archive program, which is how I have it. But if you can get it on VHS or through the Warner Archives program, I would say pick it up, check it out. It's a fun 90s movie. The next title I watched was National Lampoon's Vacation with commentary. So obviously I'll be talking about the commentary here, though I will quickly say if you haven't seen this movie, what the hell is wrong with you? This movie is one of the greatest comedies ever made. See it. It's fantastic. Now, as far as the commentary goes, I was a bit let down because when I listen to commentary, I prefer everybody in one room giving their thoughts, everybody talking with one another, interacting with each other, telling stories. Stories are just told better when it's a bunch of people telling them all kind of together. Unfortunately, this one was people doing separate commentaries and certain things being spliced in. It had to have been at least, I would say, 2 or 3 different sets of people talking, and then them kind of just splicing whatever, I guess, whoever's putting this commentary together, whatever they thought was the best commentary for that section of the movie. And I was a little let down by that, even though I learned a lot of things, and it still was enjoyable listening to the commentary just to learn all the great things that happened during the making of the movie. I would still say it was a downfall. They couldn't get all these people together to do the commentary together. That is how commentaries should be done. You should have everything spliced up. In fact, if you're going to do multiple commentaries where to one set of people, another set of people, maybe like director or something like that. Just do 3 separate commentaries. There should have been 3 commentary tracks, or 2 or 3, however many. Again, I can't remember how many groups there were. But however many groups there were, that's how many commentaries there should have been. There should have been 2 or 3 commentaries on here, not just one with a bunch of people being spliced in at certain times. I didn't really appreciate that. So unfortunately, the commentary on here, even though I did enjoy it, even though I did learn a lot, it just wasn't the best commentary I've ever heard. But like I said, it's a fantastic movie. It looked great in high definition. And the commentary was good enough that I would say, if you like this movie, check it out. The next title I watched was National Geographic, Secrets of the Titanic. Yes, another Titanic documentary. I don't know, I was just in a really Titanic mood this week. This here is a great documentary. It's all about the first expedition down to Titanic, which is really cool. It's about them, they talk a bit about how they had a hard time finding it, finally found the Titanic, and then dove down to it in their submarines and checked it out. It was really, really neat. Just, basically seeing the first ever images that were ever shot of the Titanic. It's been like 70-something years or something. Does it say on the back? Probably not. No, I guess it doesn't say. But I think it was like 70-something years, if I'm not mistaken, since the Titanic went down, till they found it and, actually shot some video of it. So it was really neat seeing the Titanic, for the first time for 75 years. It was really, really neat. So just a great documentary. Again, if you're a fan of the Titanic, this is definitely something to check out. Just really, really cool. It is a little interesting, though, since I've seen so many Titanic documentaries. I've learned so many things over the years. It is fun to sit down and watch this and hear them give their theories as to how things happen or why things are the way they are, only to know that certain things have been debunked and that's not the way it happened. Over the years, obviously, a lot of time and effort has been put into studying the sinking of the Titanic, and people have found out certain things about how things have actually happened. And again, it was just interesting to see what kind of theories people had back when they first discovered the Titanic, when in reality some of that stuff wasn't actually what happened. But still a great, great documentary. Again, it's about the first ever expedition down to the Titanic. It's really cool. One I would definitely recommend checking out if you're a Titanic fan. Then last, but certainly not least, well, actually, yeah, this is the least. A Century of Science Fiction. This was not very good. I was really looking forward to checking this out. I mean, Christopher Lee talking all about a century of science fiction? That sounds pretty cool to me. No, it's a clip show. It's just a whole bunch of clips from movies. Occasionally, they'll have like a little smidget of an interview from one of the cast members of a certain movie they're talking about, but it's just like documentary footage. It's not actual footage. Whoever put this together got. It's not like they hunted down these people and talked to them. No, they're just stealing footage from a behind the scenes featurette or something like that. They're stealing scenes, and it's a whole bunch of trailers, and it's just a montage of trailers and little cuts and scenes from movies. They don't really talk about the history of it or anything like that. It's Christopher Lee going, oh, and in 19 blah 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 we went to the moon, and then they show a little clip from a movie where somebody goes to the moon. That's it. This was pretty piss poor. I would not recommend checking this out. I've seen clip show documentaries like this before, or documentaries, clip shows, I guess I'll just call it clip show. I've seen clip shows like this before. They're okay because they keep them short. They keep them like a half hour long. They're fun to watch, whatever. This is an hour and a half long, which, by the way, double play 2 hours, approximately 2 hours long. This is only an hour and 38 minutes. That is not 2 hours. I'm sorry. That's an hour and a half. The video quality of this looks like ass. Pretty sure this came straight off of VHS. I can't get into how much I did not enjoy this at all. In fact, when the DVD starts up, at least on my copy, Christopher Lee's already talking. It's like, you can tell you said like, hi, Christopher Lee here, to talk to you about a century of science fiction. And then it, right when he's half of that sentence, it like starts. So it just really badly done. I would really not recommend this. I can't even say if you're really into sci-fi, check this out. It's not worth it. It's a clip show. If you really want to watch a bunch of trailers, just watch the trailers that come on the DVD. It's pointless. I can't recommend this for anybody. If you're a fan of science fiction, you don't need to see it. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to get anything out of this. You're just going to see Christopher Lee introducing a bunch of clips. So there you go, guys. It's everything I checked out this week. Definitely watched a ton of great titles, and I pretty much recommend everything I checked out, with the exception of A Century of Science Fiction, as that was just piss poor, but everything else was great, and I would definitely recommend seeing them all. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. See ya.